Welcome back, everybody, to the show. If you were checking us out on our first hour, as you know, we let Donna run the broadcast, and I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we are back to our regularly scheduled program now. So I apologize. We won't ever let her out of the cage again. So, um, you know, that's what happens. Oh, Steve here? Steve's here finally. All right.
Yo, hello.
But back to what I was saying. So we let Donna run the show, and it didn't go too well. You know what I mean? So I'm just kidding.
It went freaking amazing.
Yeah. She had Joe from Naked and Afraid on. I asked my questions. I'm pretty sure he liked me the most. I'm pretty sure during the middle of the conversation he said something along the lines of, I really don't like her, man. And I was like, yeah, I know, right? So how's everyone doing today? How's everybody on the Real Sharks cruise?
Good.
Doing good. Doing
Doing
good.
good. Can't complain. So I had a really funny story that I brought up to Joe, and now I want to share with the rest of the crew because I want to know. I mean, is this just nostalgia love, guys? And this is going to be on the movie news, and this is also on Planet X Network, everybody. So make sure you're tuning in there. All right. So do you guys know who John Rice is? You guys ever heard of this man?
John Rice?
John Rice. I know Donna has because I brought this up already.
No, I don't know if I have.
So John Rice has a passion, and this passion is to annually run in 128-degree heat in Death Valley, dressed as Darth Vader. That's right. The man runs.
Death Wish.
And right now he just completed his run again, and he says it's still a thrill to run in 128-degree heat. It's worth it.
What thrill?
So, what is this, guys? Is this a case of obsessive nostalgia? A case of hey, look at me? A case of hey, that's pretty fucking cool? Or what would you guys say?
Obsessive compulsive disorder, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, really? You guys don't give him any credit? No credit at all?
My man has a legit death wish. Why would you do that, man?
Yeah.
A death wish in Death Valley as Darth Vader.
Good God, man.
I think he's just really bored. I think
Post-COVID era,
I think if he got a Netflix subscription, this would all go away.
I think if Netflix put him on their subscriptions, this would probably all go away.
Oh, he should get a Netflix show. I think.
Yeah, like
Right.
painted like Forrest Gump, like in the scene of Forrest Gump where he's running across America, but it's Darth Vader.
How many episodes do you think we could get to before he just?
He would try to outdo himself. So, what's next?
Right.
Letting him run the cross country as Darth Vader. Can he do it?
Oh my
And
God.
Fundraiser.
You want like a Forrest Gump, just him running?
Yeah, I'll run with him. I'll be like, you inspired me, man.
I'll
Really?
join him in Kansas.
I'll follow you anywhere, Mr. Rice.
You can't call yourself Mr. Rice. He should not have been using his real name. I mean, come on. He should have been like, no, my name is Lord Vader.
Is he Darth Rice? Yeah. You know what? I'll go dressed up as a stormtrooper with him. I'll run next to him as a stormtrooper. Be like, Darth Vader's got to have his bodyguard, man.
With the gun in tow, you're just...
Okay, who's going to go Chewbacca?
Oh, that's me.
Wow, that's insanely racist. We would ask that.
I wasn't being racist.
Why don't you play a Wookiee, huh? There's not enough female Wookiees.
That's true.
I'll be the female Wookiee. It's going to be hot.
I think a female Wookiee would be hot.
Yeah.
with all that hair. Don't you guys think so? I mean, it'd be like having to uncut like a bush.
I think you should have.
Yikes.
So, did you guys check out the new Wonka movie?
No, I've seen a little bit of it.
With Timothy Chalamet. That's right, my man, Timothy Chalamet. He was in, of course, The King, which was one of the best Netflix movies to come around in a long time. Got nominated. But yeah, he is going to be the chocolatier himself in Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
What are you guys thinking of? Okay, first of all, let's talk about this. So, interestingly enough, I mean, we got Fast and Furious. We got all these other sequels that are coming out. They're talking about doing sequels to basically everything now. Is there an audience for this? Is there a want for this? Luke. Uh-oh. Oh, sorry. Is there a want for this, Steve? Luke, go ahead.
I guess there is, but I'm sad that there is, frankly.
Okay, why are we sad?
Ugh. Sorry, I had to turn off my AC because it's too loud.
No, you're good.
Uh, no, it looks dumb. It looks dumb.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
so. When I first saw the first image of Timothy Chevrolet, the image I was like, oh, it looks a little spooky. Maybe it'll be kind of creepy.
Like
It'll
the book?
have that kind of like what is it? Like the Roald Dahl vibe. Like
Mhm.
the kind of thing that like we were thinking Tim Burton was gonna do, and then he didn't. Um, but no, this just looks goofy. It's all like, oh, I'm a happy little guy.
But don't you think we need that nowadays? I mean, everything is so dreary and, taking it back to the dark.
That's
Don't you think
true.
there's some
I
some
think
need for some
that's
light? Like, look for example, look at Tim Burton's last one. Didn't do so well. I think I personally liked it because it's a little bit more darker as the book is. But everyone I always hear is they always say the same thing. It's all about the original, man. It's all about
Yeah.
that one, the
You can't
Gene
live
I
Wilder
think it's
one. You can't beat
I
Gene
think
Wilder.
it's very hard to come after the original because it really is such a good. It really is an extremely good film, and it's all built around the strength of Gene Wilder. So
Yeah, definitely, most definitely.
Steve, do you think it's too long to have a sequel like this or a prequel? Because this ain't a sequel. This is a prequel.
it's a
Do you think
pretty.
it's? Do you think there's this is time gone by and we don't need a sequel,
Uh,
a prequel like this?
well, I wouldn't say it's time gone by because I've stand on this before, where I think every movie is bound for a prequel, sequel, or whatever they have for it. But Willy Wonka, I just like you were saying, the last one we got was to Tim Burton, and it was not well received. The first one is sort of a some people either like it or they hate it type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, I don't know. And then the whole thing about this film is they made the film surrounded by this Timothy actor.
I
He
love
didn't
him.
even have to. He didn't even have to like audition for this role. They just gave it to him.
Right.
Kind of. So I don't know. I wouldn't
Deservedly
say that.
so.
I don't know if I love him as an actor, but
Sorry, Tim, I got your back.
it's just something about like why would you need a Wonka prequel? Like you were saying, the whole one, the I don't know. It's just the whole story of Wonka is dark to begin with. Even the original one in nature was dark. It wasn't as dark as the Tim Burton one, obviously, because that had this Tim Burton mystique on it.
Mm.
But yeah, I don't. It's like, what kind of Wonka are we gonna get? Because the movie is called
Right.
Wonka. So is he going to like do an impersonation of Gene Wilder, or is he gonna do an impersonation of Johnny Depp, or both? I don't
Donna,
know.
is it going to be for kids at that? Do you think
I
it's going
think
to
it's
have to
going.
be for kids?
I think it's going to be towards kids because in the preview, and granted, this is just me, like the chocolate gang wouldn't let people, put in new chocolate factories, and he still went and did it. And it's probably going to tell kids, no matter what, don't let anyone tell you you can't live your dream. Keep
Bingo.
going for it.
Bingo. And I want to go off that a little bit. And I agree. I agree with everyone here. I think everyone has a super super good point. My problem is like we're getting a lot of this stuff. We're getting a lot of one story we're going to talk about here is they're going to do Saw 10. I don't think there's a need for that. And and just as there's not a need for that, there's not a need for a 3-part finale of Fast and the Furious. I'm for this though. Why? Because I'm actually for something a little lighthearted these days. I'm for something that looks a little bit more of that magical feeling, I guess you can say. And I love Willy Wonka, and I don't know. This one to me, honestly, from the previews, looks like it could get as close to the Gene Wilder one, because the Tim Burton one, we knew where that one was going to go. It was going to go back to the book side. It was going to be darker. This one, however, I'm a little excited for, guys. I actually am. Particularly, I think the scenes I saw were pretty funny. I think there's going to be a love interest that obviously changes Willy Wonka, because there's the girl that's in the movie too. But I don't see anything wrong with who they picked. I personally, I kind of like this, guys. I'm actually for this because why not?
Do you
Why
want
not?
that though? Do you want that for a Wonka
Why not?
character to have a
Why can't Willy Wonka? Why do we have to let movies like Snowpiercer determine a outcome of what Willy Wonka
Well, that's
could
kind
be.
of its. Yeah, I feel like that is like it's its own interpretation with the Snowpiercer Willy Wonka thing. But again, I don't know. I'm just harkening back to just the original, the book and the first movie, where it's like Willy Wonka is just a mystique character. The whole thing about Gene Wilder
Right.
having the cane is he wanted that. Like that was Gene Wilder wanting that for Willy Wonka's character to give him mystique, and you didn't know what he was about. So to give him kind of like humanize him in a way where he's like now obviously younger but having a love interest, it's I don't know, it's like it could work, but do you need it? That's what I
Yes. Yes, we all need it.
Why do we
We
need
all-
it? Why do we need
why do you
why do
why
we
do
need
you
that
need that?
chocolate?
Because I don't like people being Mystique unless it's Mystique herself.
You know, I don't think I like people being Mystique unless it's some kind of joyful Mystique.
I see what you
But-
mean, but
You see what I mean?
isn't he
Yeah.
already
He is,
joyful
but see, we
Mystique,
saw
though?
Willy Wonka though, guys. Technically, we saw Willy Wonka when he was secluded Willy Wonka, when he was at the end of his reign. Never get to see how he came up with everything and how he changed everything. I'm just for it.
Or made him. Like,
Also, can I tell everyone again? Movie theme again this year. It's about the process. We got Air, Lamborghini. Now we got Wonka talking about how he made all the chocolate.
Yeah,
It's been all about the process in
it
all the
has
movies this year.
all these backstories about things that you really don't need backstories for.
I'm for it.
I'm for it.
We'll
So,
see it. We'll see.
We got 2 who are for it and 2 who are not for it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll see it. I'll see what it's all about.
Okay. So let's go ahead and move on to some more fun stuff, guys. So have you guys heard? And I've been dying to get on this. Have you guys seen the new Return to Oz trailer?
Yes.
Oh, you knew I was going to be talking about this. Me and my kin, of course. You know we're freaking out because this is, of
Yes.
course, about the beloved story of the Wizard of Oz,
It did
told
not
in
sense. It ain't
reverse.
Yeah.
Told in reverse. Luke, have you heard about this movie?
What's it called again?
It's Don't Return to Oz. It's the new Wizard of Oz movie.
Never heard of it. Don't Return to Oz?
Yep, it's the brand. It's a horror film. It's called Gale, Stay Away from Oz. So basically, this is the story, and you're gonna love this, Luke, because and there's the reason I want to bring this up, of course, ladies and gentlemen, is of course the Real Sharks. We did a let's talk about, popularly so on the beloved Return to Oz.
Yeah.
And in that review, we talk about how the Wizard of Oz can get dark very quick, and it's only because the 1950s one, you had Judy Garland and everybody who was older there. It was adults. In the Return of Oz, you got Dorothy getting lobotomized, being, and all that, and no one believe her. Now, Luke, let me describe this one for you.
Okay,
So this is basically about her granddaughter who is hearing these voices about returning. She's saying, something's telling me to come. Something's pulling me there. And then they were like, and it's happening ever since, I found out about my grandmother. And like, what's your grandmother's name? She's like, Gale, Dorothy Gale. You see Dorothy with a picture of Toto. And then, she's all like, Dorothy, and she does the whole stay away from us, stay away from us, stay away from us, stay away from us. And it's pretty epic. So it looks like we're looking at a complete invert of the Wizard of Oz story, which I am 100% for. I really hope we see some cowardly lions with some mange. I hope I'm going to see a rusty Tin Man, maybe a sadistic, scarecrow. I'm all for this. I'm down to see what happened to the Emerald City.
Wild as the Cowardly Lion. He's the main.
With the guitar and everything. Just
What if they did it? What if they did it like off mental illnesses?
That's actually what the play is on this. That is actually the play on it, because it is this idea of because they even say all her psychosis over the years has really traumatized her. Meaning, and from what I've read, and they're keeping this plot under lock and key very well, is the idea of it is that it's the angle to where, like we were talking about, Luke, whether she really was insane or not, whether this all really is real, you know.
Yeah.
And so it takes this story into a real dark aspect. So Steve, I want to know,
Dang.
excited for it?
Uh, I wouldn't say the word excited, but I guess I'm
That's
intrigued in a way. I'm intrigued. I love The Wizard of Oz. I grew up with that film. It is interesting that this is yet another one of these, like, I guess you can say, quote unquote, childhood films that they're
Directed
making.
by Daniel Alexander, written by Matthew R. Ford.
Yeah, like, I don't know. This is another one of these films that they're making super dark. It could work,
Right.
though. It could
I mean,
work.
it's okay. On that, let me stop you, Luke.
Yeah.
Can this work?
Yeah, it can work. Is this the same people that did the Winnie the Pooh horror movie? Feels like.
No, no.
And that was different. That was just people
Yeah.
dressed in masks, you know.
Yeah,
saying
Okay.
that wasn't even a movie.
Are we not 100% sure that that's the case? Because I feel
Yeah,
like
I'm
that.
not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that's not the case. That would be great, though.
An hour?
Yeah, it's interesting. When is this movie coming out?
They haven't said yet. It's to be
Okay.
determined.
So there's also the Wicked movie that's coming out. I think either next year or this year or late this year. So I guess they're trying it again. I guess they're trying to make Oz a thing again,
Right.
like what they did with James Franco.
Yeah,
So we'll see. We'll see. I like Oz. I think and the thing is, the books are so public domain that most places you can get it for free. You can get all the books for free basically on your Kindle. They're giving it away. You can get the books like anywhere. So
Bless you.
oh god.
Get that under control.
Keep going.
Done.
Oh, fuck me. Anyway.
You need an exorcism.
Donna, do you think
Actually,
this is
I had nothing really of value to say at that point, other than
okay?
I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see.
Donna, do you think this is going to hurt The Wizard of Oz as a legacy?
No.
I was gonna say
I didn't
no.
ask you, Luke.
No, I don't think it will because I think as a society,
if the movie sucks, no one's gonna even remember it. It's
exactly because
But-
we've got
That's
the
true.
good one to fall back on.
Yeah.
How,
also like Return to Oz is really good. And nobody remembers that one either. So
Right.
like,
You brought that up
yeah.
to everybody.
as society gets older and more populated, there are more people like me that like the dark humor of it. And let's go ahead and start making these TV shows and movies like they were supposed to be made.
Mhm. Wait, are you
takes
saying
away-
that Oz is supposed to always be like this?
yeah, like just dark.
Yes.
Okay. So let's just say it's at the angle of where Dorothy is insane. So is that going to resonate with everyone? You think, if that's the case, is that
automatically take
all
away
these books are for nothing? She's just
No, you don't. I mean, you can't. The books are what they are. Yeah, they're foundations or books. You can do what you want in film adaptations, but if you're like, yeah, we're just gonna make her insane. It's like, well, you're losing your children audience right there for distribution. So you're making a conscious decision about.
Well known, she's insane.
Yeah,
I mean, look at the first one. Like,
yeah,
if
but
you
they're not
think
really.
about it,
They're talking more about. I mean, the first one on the whole is more so about Dorothy and her relationship with the people that she's encountering but I don't think it's more of this is like I feel like this is more of a deep dive in the adult situation because it's about kids. Songs, there's not going to be any songs here, and if they are, I'm pretty sure they're going to be very dark and dreary. But it's
children's
not like
songs are.
yeah, it's not like a crossover of Return to Oz with the
Should
TV
be.
show Oz.
I'm counting it as so.
Yeah, So I don't know. This is like I think it can work obviously because it does have dark overtones just from the book and the movie, just like Wonka. But there's always possibilities. It's whether or not they can execute it that really matters. Like you can have the idea,
Right cast and the right director. They can
Right
execute this.
actors and stuff like that. So we'll see.
But
I mean,
they're
you can have
going
the right
to have to
premise.
get the right people because the wrong witch the wrong freaking not Oompa Loompa, freaking Munchkin can ruin it all.
Yeah,
You're hoping
that's
for
true.
Munchkins
And
in
then
there? You're hoping for the whole 9 yards, the Munchkins,
the Lollipop
Flying
Kids,
the
monkeys.
witches.
The
I think the witch
witches.
is going to be in there from the trailer.
They
it
have
looks
to be in it. Yeah, they're in
It
there.
has to be. You cannot have the Wizard of Oz without the witches or the flying monkeys.
The
Okay,
Lollipop Kids.
let's agree too, and I'm sure Luke will want to vote on this. The flying monkeys are terrifying. I mean, that was not just a Family Guy joke. That is legitimately fucking terrifying.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, that is scary. Like, have you seen what a chimp can do to you? Have you seen what a chimp can do to you, Donna? Imagine
See,
that
my snakes can
angry
do-
on wings. Hell no, dude. That's not good. All right,
I'm more terrified of cockroaches.
we're gonna take our first commercial break over the brave one here. Whatever, blah 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 blah. We'll be right back on the Real Sharks podcast. And welcome back to the Real Sharks podcast. It is your host Rob, sitting here with his crews, his mates upon the subs. So, guys, there is a new rumbling out in Japan. It's going to be on November 3rd of this year, and so few people are talking about it. So we are one of the only people that are, and that is going to be Godzilla. This movie is supposed to take you back to the roots of the franchise, post World War II, atomic bomb, and we got a little hint of the trailer recently. It looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like Shin Godzilla. Looks like the original. It looks like Godzilla with no spikes, maybe.
Yeah.
Steve,
Which I'm a little like that right there. I'm not gonna lie, Rob. I'm like, it sucks, but
what? This is done by this is Toho.
yeah, it is. It's true. It's true,
This is
and
the
that
toe
makes
the
me
hoe,
excited.
you know?
That makes me excited, but I don't know.
Toho and the whole franchise.
I looked at him and I was like, he could look cool. He's super CGI.
Well, of
Super
course, the days of men in costumes are well behind us.
Behind.
I mean, but then again, I think that might be a thing though too. Maybe we should make a movie ourselves in a guy in costume.
Why not? Why not?
Maybe there's a market for it.
You never know.
Luke, what do you think about this franchise going back to this idea of possibly doing Godzilla as a atomic bomb reference?
I am shocked we're getting a sequel to Oppenheimer so quickly. It's,
Wow, I didn't even think. Wow, this is the Oppenheimer
This is-
sequel.
That is.
you've heard of Barbenheimer? Now it's Oppenzilla.
Godzilla.
Wow, let it be known right here, right now. Luke has made that connection. That
Godzilla,
is
let's do it. Yeah, like
crazy.
duh.
With
The
a
whole
K.
point of Godzilla is the atomic bomb, and the movie's about making the atomic bomb. So yeah, I'm excited. I mean, this is Tojo Studios, right?
Toho, yeah.
Okay, so Shin Godzilla was really good, and
Was it?
yeah, like it was really good for like what it was. I think it was a really cool. I thought the idea of focusing on like the people trying to like figure out Godzilla, kind of like a natural disaster movie,
Which is what he was originally. Well,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But from a purely like bureaucratic standpoint of like how we deal with this shit, that's very interesting. So I'm interested. I would say, yeah, doing it so quickly after doing a post World War II so quickly is interesting, and I think the world's stance on nuclear weapons, although there's a lot of through line, we're in a very different place than we were in the 50s, where the idea of nuclear weapons was so up in the air and it was so like scary and existential. And obviously it hit like a critical mass point in the 80s where we genuinely thought we were going to nuke. Obviously, and in the 60s too, there were these blip points where we literally all thought we were going to nuke each other, and we've gotten to there again last couple of years because of the whole war in Ukraine. We're like, oh, there's a very real chance we're finally going to nuke ourselves into oblivion, and so. And also on top of that, Japan has a very different space on the international stage than it was in the 50s. Obviously, that's been reflected throughout the years. To go all the way back to that first one, from when Japan was first reconciling with its post-war place in the world, to now, I think it's very interesting re-examining it, much like the way we are re-examining World War II today through the eyes of Oppenheimer.
Love it. Now, to the woman here who loves animals, loves snakes, loves reptiles, but apparently is bored to death right now of the conversation of a giant radioactive lizard. Donna, how do you feel about bringing back Godzilla? Do you think it's keep it away? You know, it's dead. It's been done too many times, or you're like, I'm for it. I'll go see it.
No, I could care less. I've never seen one Godzilla movie. Couldn't get in.
That's a sin. That's a
I would rather have them redo Cloverfield than this.
no. We're all gonna disagree with you here on that one.
Disagree, but like I said, I have never seen any of the Godzillas, but I've seen Cloverfield.
Why? Okay, well, first of all, Cloverfield wouldn't exist without Godzilla. Second of all, why have you never seen a Godzilla film?
I just could never get into them. There's just certain movies I can't get into, and that being one of them. And maybe it's because I tried starting off, with the very, very first one, the animation, the directing, the graphics sucked, and I just can never get into it. Any of them.
Are you talking about the legacy films, the newer ones? Or are you talking because we're talking about the old guys in suits ones?
Suits, yeah.
It's what I'm talking about. Like, I could just never get into them. They just never appealed to me. And I know there's a lot of people out there that love them. I know you guys are probably it. I know my husband probably loves Godzilla. If I showed my girls, they would probably like Godzilla.
We're all collectively taking a sigh of disappointment in you. We'll all do it right now. Everybody, ready for Donna?
This is why you brought me on.
It was a trap. It was a trap to get you to talk about Godzilla tonight.
What's interesting about Donna's
Don't you say first, Steve. Be quiet. Hold on, Steve.
No. Like, my thing about the take is we're talking about the new Godzilla of Godzilla Zero coming out by Toho, but Toho also has another film that's supposed to be coming out that we also talked about next year, in Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. So this is two Kong films, not two Kong, but at least two Godzilla films with a Kong films, featuring two Godzilla films featuring a Kong in it. And I feel like they are getting back to where they were doing before, Rob, where they were trying to do in the 80s with Godzilla 1984, where they were like, okay, let's make
Godzilla mean. Let's make him evil.
Yeah, make them evil again. And I think they're doing that again where they're kind of be like, let's push the reset button. Let's make a film that's more action-oriented with King Kong, where people like Donna may enjoy, which they're still pretty good. You know what I mean? Godzilla versus Kong was all right. It was good. I liked it. I loved Godzilla King of the Monsters. We were one of the only podcasts that actually defended that film.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like they are making that film for more of the people like Donna who don't know Godzilla, and Godzilla Zero for the more purists like me and you that like seen all of them. You know what I mean? And know about Son of Godzilla.
Let's go around here. So, Steve, good Godzilla or bad Godzilla?
Bad Godzilla.
Bad Godzilla? Okay.
Bad Godzilla.
Luke, good Godzilla or bad Godzilla?
Which Godzilla? Sorry.
Good Godzilla or bad Godzilla?
Good Godzilla or bad Godzilla?
Which Godzilla do you like?
I like the good Godzilla.
So you like Godzilla when he's like, doing his
versus the oh my god. And then the drop kick with the like him flying to the
that shit rules.
Listen, I'm just gonna say
Godzilla
there's a good
back to you.
and a bad Godzilla. Something's that big and that tall and that massively huge, it has to be bad.
Are you sure?
I don't know.
Yes.
Are you sure he's not?
Is it bad? No. This is a good lesson here because Donna likes to talk about animals not getting the reach around here. So let's talk about this idea of what exactly Godzilla is about. It's about a creature created by mankind.
Nature's revenge, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Nature's revenge.
She's a Gamera fan, Rob.
Are you against nature here, Donna? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not against nature, but if you want to scientifically freaking enhance something, then yes, I'm against nature.
Oh, okay. So
Because then
it's only relevant until it isn't anymore. I get you. Okay.
Right.
I get you. Okay. I
you
get
can't
you.
always have the God complex and not expect consequences.
All I know is Godzilla is one of the very few creatures or entities that can beat Superman, which is awesome, I always think. And I always love to piss every Superman fan off because I'm
Fan
like, you
off.
do know Godzilla could kill Superman, right? No! Yeah, he could. Atomic breath, man. Boom. Superman's dead.
Has Superman ever fought Godzilla?
I
That
don't.
rule.
He fought him in fan fiction type tales where they break down their like
How come-
powers, and
How
then
come
like they said
How
Godzilla.
come that's not a comic? How come we're not doing
Yeah,
Superman
yeah, right.
versus Godzilla?
There's our
That would be
costume
good.
ideas right there. Superman versus Godzilla.
That would actually be pretty cool if Godzilla crossed into the
Luke
DC
is
universe.
Godzilla, Steve is Superman.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I
No,
can't.
what's going to happen is they're going to be
obviously.
fighting, and then like right as Godzilla's about to destroy Superman, he's like, "Save Martha!" And Godzilla's
Yeah.
like, "What do you do with that name?
Why did you say that name?
Why did you say that name?"
Oh man.
Stop it.
So guys, let's go ahead and move on because I got a couple movie reviews to get to, and one of them, guys, this really had me heated up. I mean, really,
The doozy.
had me going. Yeah, and we'll be right back with this review because I'm going to talk about The Sound of Freedom next.
Oh God.
I'm mad. I'm very mad. So okay, welcome back to the Real Strikes podcast, everybody. And Rob's heated on this because this movie right here I'm gonna talk about. You know, I'm gonna have a lot to say. I'm gonna unpack a lot on it here. So, let's get started. So I'm gonna discuss the new movie that everyone's been buzzing about called The Sound of Freedom. This was released in July of this year. You know, stars Jim Caviezel, who was obviously Jesus in Passion of the Christ. You had Mary Sorvino, Bill Camp, and Javier Godino in the movie. What this film is the story of Tim Ballard and basically his stories of saving children from pedophiles. Basically, how he ended up quitting the agency because they didn't want him to keep going and pursue the case. He didn't, and he ended up saving some kids that were basically victims of human child trafficking. That's what this film is essentially about. However, though, you would not know that because I am so tired of hearing about this film. And let me just say too, let me start out by saying it has an 8.2 out of 10 on IMDb. I kept hearing this about this movie. This is all I kept hearing about. It's an action film, man. It's a hardcore action film about, you know, stopping pedophile rings, and then the rest of the movie is about, you know, how Democrats are pulling this cabal on people and raping kids and the adrenochrome conspiracy. And then on to the other side, I hear, yeah, man, this movie is all huge QAnon conspiracy. There's actually a line in it where and I looked for this, where they said, oh, you know, it's all every Democrat is a pedophile. You know, all I have to say, man, and I'm going to quote a movie we were talking about today, stop the fucking charade. Fucking stop it. Stop. You need to stop with these movies like this because, you know, this is not the first time a movie like this has addressed this whole issue with human trafficking. It's been done. But not just that. You got people that are trying to do their sick little gross politics. They showed this video of a girl who had a video of inside AMC. First of all, why you got a camera inside the theater if you're not trying to record the movie? First of all, but basically the screen was frozen, the movie screen, and they were in the theaters telling everyone that we have to restart the movie over. This tweet goes out as an issue of, you see, AMC and theaters do not want this movie to be seen. Are you fucking kidding me? You really think theaters want that? You really think theaters right now would be like, you know what? Here's a blockbuster film that's going to gain us a lot of money because like COVID didn't almost do us in. So, you know, yeah, we're going to stop people from stop. Stop with this gross stuff because you know what? When I watched the movie, I got to tell everyone, it was just an ordinary film. A good budgeted, good cinematography. You know, of course, as I said, Jim Caviezel is doing his best Batman impression the whole movie, going, oh, ugh, really? We're gonna stop them. And I'm like, oh my god, everyone else is pretty good. You're the only one laying it on thick as hell. But I'm so tired of movies getting so oversaturated in the politics. And now, when I go on and I looked up the reviews for this movie, every review was almost like if an AI bot had written it. Say, this is an action film to start off with, and then it's about the cabal of the Democrats. Almost every single line was about the same thing. And I watch it, and I'm like, this movie ain't even fucking about any of that. And it makes me go, wow. Did anyone really watch it? Did anyone really even
Right.
stop there to see it? Huh?
That's what I'm reading right now. Everything is 5 stars. Well done.
Right.
God of Children are not for
And this is
sale.
because people are on QAnon are jumping on this because they're
Yeah.
saying, you see this? This is a movie that's about the elites and how the sex trafficking rings. There was none of that in the movie. What are you all talking about? There was nothing about Hollywood's elites. It was all taking place in South America. What the fuck are you all talking about? What are you all talking about? I really legitimately want to know. Like, what was the big... Because, I hate to say it. It wasn't a big deal. Yes, it was a sad movie. Yes, it addressed an issue. But as I told Luke, and this goes to every person out there writing 5 stars on there, writing all this crap about, oh, this movie is like, this is eye-opening. To say that this film addresses such a big issue as human trafficking is just as disingenuous as to say that Aquaman addresses climate change. You cannot say Aquaman cannot address climate change and say that this movie addresses this. That is absolutely impossible. These are two conversations that should be left out of movies because movies are supposed to be about entertainment. And that's what I ultimately have to say about it, too, was, wow, I watched a whole movie about this subject that I didn't really even care about because people were so up in arms about it. And all I saw was just a mediocre film at heart. That's all I saw. I wouldn't give it no 8 out of 10. I'd give it a 6.
If they wanted to do this and, like, get an audience or whatever, don't put fucking politics in it. Actually make it like a documentary. Actually put people in there that have been victims of fucking sex trafficking. Make it known. Like, and if you don't know about fucking sex trafficking, then you must be living underneath a fucking rock.
It is real. It is real. But that is not the issue I have at hand. I have an issue with people propping this up as propaganda when there is no propaganda in it. It's like when me and Steve went and saw Rogue One and everyone was like, that's an anti-Trump film. And me and Steve were like, what the hell are you all talking about?
Yeah,
There was nothing in the
There was
film.
a Nazi reference that supposedly was in Rogue One, and there was no Nazi reference whatsoever in any of the Star Wars, let alone that film. But I don't know.
And of course, this is bad faith actors on a lot of everybody. But
Right.
why is it that it gets so much traction?
I mean, you know why, dude. You know why. The lead, because of the lead actor and some of the actors' politics being so open and forced, and AMC's CEO basically going, I'm going to show this everywhere, and that sets off the world, basically, right? But not really the known world. It sets off Twitter and Instagram and
Bad
Reddit,
faith
all
actors, bad
right,
faith influencers.
right, or and people that are leechers, right? So like a lot of other moviegoer podcasts and little YouTube channels that go on to be like spreading rumor and lies about it, going like it's about this, it's about that. That's why
They
this
don't
film
want you
has
to see this film.
right. And the thing about the film is you can't take it at any value because. Yeah, you just said it was like 74% on Rotten Tomatoes or something, or you said it was at a 7.5.
8.2
You can't
out of
trust
10
that.
on IMDb.
You just can't trust that just
You
because
can't.
of
A lot of these
all
reviews are for one-time people who've seen this movie one time,
that.
wrote the review, and then didn't do anything else.
and then do anything else, or it's either that people or it's the people that went to the theaters and complained about that. Oh, the AC was turned off and they wanted us in it to watch it really really hot, or they said they weren't. So there's a bunch of trash going on here.
Stop it.
The film is barely a film. It's one of these projects that can or cannot be seen as a vanity project by this Jim Caviezel, whatever his name is. But it's nothing that's going to move the needle right or left or anything. It is a film, and AMC was capitalizing on it because they are a company and a business that is dying with cinema. So that's why
So
they
why
jumped on it.
But
to
why would
show
they
this
sit there
to
and
people.
tell people, oh, we don't want you to see this film? That's
You
what
don't
I'm
want you to
saying.
see it because of the controversy, and the controversy means people are going to be like,
No,
"Well, I have
they
to go
want
see
it.
it now," but it doesn't
Because
do
have you
anything.
been told, oh, you can't do that, and you're like, oh, hold my beer, watch this.
Yeah, it's like that. Yeah, right, Donna. That's exactly it. It's like he's feeding into that. He made it worldwide so people can see it. Because let's be honest here, most of the people that are complaining, I guarantee you, they either went to an AMC or their local theaters to see it, because that's the only way you can see it, or on other means, right, to watch this film. So the people that are complaining should not have spent money to go see this film. So they already got you there because you've already paid to go see this film, for you to go complain in the theater. And like Rob is saying, filming in a movie theater, which is not against the law. You're not supposed to do that against movie theater policies, especially AMC. They're very, very, very anal about that. And to make a point online about a film that you don't care about, just don't go see the film.
It's only because it's in your political aisle, too. That's the only reason you're commenting on it.
Right. It's like you're either far for this guy's politics or you're far against it. Like Rob is saying, this is a film at heart, and film is entertainment. If you are unentertained by the film, do not watch it. No one's forcing
Luke, I'm interested in what you have to hear about this movie.
Sound of Freedom. Starring Jim Caviezel, Jesus himself, who is legitimately mentally ill, by all accounts. Full-blown, he has done multiple QAnon conventions. He's been a guest speaker at full-blown QAnon, The Storm is Rising. This is... Now, whether or not they intended to do this in this movie is up for debate. I suspect Jimbo knew that if he made a movie like this, that they could start the conversation, and I've seen it actually. Mm-hmm. I have seen well-meaning people in my own Instagram feed who I know are not crazy, who I know are not abject morons, who have seen Sound of Freedom on a lark or whatever, and they're like, oh wow, this is a really important move. This is when I saw this is crazy, and it's like you're getting suckered in by the line. You're getting suckered in. It's exactly what happens. Should also be pointed out, I forget his full name. He is the he runs Operation Underground Railroad,
right?
A nonprofit that claims to help exploited and trafficked children. For the record, that man is now stepping away from his organization to, for whatever reason, presumably because this movie made its money back, so now he wants to be making movies.
Tim Ballard, sorry, that's
because he got his bag. He got
his bag. Yep, right, Luke.
And I recommend people look up Operation Underground Railroad, because stories are now coming out that organization actively does not really help children at all.
Right.
And they are woefully mismanaging the many millions of dollars.
Not to mention rumors of trafficking themselves.
Yes.
Rumors of trafficking themselves.
Yes.
Yes, it's like they have, near as most people can tell, have done nothing to actually have made no significant work towards helping trafficked people. They've mostly just been, as best as people can tell, have just been simply hoarding the money. And again, in this case, they've made a movie. This is Cody 2012 all over again. This is a bunch of douchebags, basically, who have taken a genuinely important issue. They've packaged it in a big, glossy presence.
Or they knew what they had; they're just selling it.
And they've put it into this big show, so that more people will pay attention to them, so that they'll get more donations, and that they'll put into more movies, presumably, and cycle over again. Meanwhile, there will probably be nothing meaningfully done for trafficked or exploited people, and I defy anybody to actually bring it up, because they could do that. They could bring that up anytime. The Operation Underground Railroad can, at any point, talk about the actual meaningful differences they have done, which they can't say. That said, Jim Caviezel looking real good for his age. Gotta give him that.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Yeah,
Looking real good.
yeah,
Looking real good for being struck by lightning twice. That dude was struck by lightning twice during the Jesus movie.
Yep.
So
Maybe he should have stopped with those 2 warnings.
yeah, I think here's the thing. I think God hates Jim Caviezel. I'm going to say that right now for the record. I think God hates Jim, and if he doesn't, he should. That's all I have to say.
In the film.
Donna, what do you have to say about this film?
I haven't seen it, and I doubt I watch it because the reviews I've read, it all points to something that we all know about. But Rob, you've seen this movie, and you said point blank, you don't know what this movie is really about.
Right, Rob. Right. There's like no plot.
Right.
It's like the characters are kind of just talking in the film. It's not even a film
about child trafficking.
It's almost
So
like a TV show highlight.
Watching a fucking movie when I can, waste my time and see what freaking networks are out there to actually help these people.
Yeah, watching a documentary based off of something that's actually happening.
Right.
I mean, if they truly cared, why don't they donate all this money that they've made from this movie? Every dime, actors, actresses, extras, everything that they got paid, and put it towards those victims.
Bingo. But do you hear Jim Caviezel or the CEO of AMC uttering anything about that? Of course not.
No, they don't.
Rob is saying
it's an issue people can earn money on.
I was talking about my nipples, Steve. What are you talking about?
Oh, man.
But let's move on because I got another review to do, guys, and this one is going to be the last one of the night, and it's going to be a chum bucket. And let me tell you, it's going to be fun because I gotta lay it down, man. We haven't done chum buckets in a while for everybody, but these films were already on there, so it's not like
they were. They were like one of the first.
Chum bucket, guys.
Yeah.
So it's not like we're doing anything different, really. We're just kind of just adding to the collection of what these films are, and that was Transformers: Rise of the Beasts.
Wars. Oh,
Transformers. More than meets the eyes. Transformers.
Target Transformers.
Dinosaurs in disguise, but that's not what they were.
Dinosaur. Yeah, no.
We didn't get any of that. So they pulled essentially, ladies and gentlemen. This is supposed to be, of course, it has a 6.5. Going on too. So this was supposed to be Transformers: Rise of the Beast. So this is supposed to be about I don't even know what the hell this film was actually really supposed to be about. To be honest with you, as I was watching it, because all the other Transformers movies never really have a plot.
Well,
they
Megatron
just kinda,
trying to destroy the world.
Oh, really? Again?
Yeah. Again, he escapes and he comes back and
yeah. So this is basically supposed to serve as like a standalone sequel and a prequel to Transformers, directed by Stephen Cape Jr., screenplay by Joby Harold, and they pulled a Spider-Man 3 in this essentially. The whole movie, they were talking it up about the Beast Wars.
Yes.
As a kid, we saw Beast Wars. Beast Wars,
Hell
of course. Was like one of the very first shows to ever actually use computer animation in the show. So it actually, at that time, it took a long time to make. It was actually very cutting edge when Beast Wars was out. And of course Beast Wars is about Optimus Prime and all them come down during like the I guess you want to say dinosaur era, whatever. And basically, they fight amongst each other. They fight, Prime and everything. But this movie itself, man, so in the beginning, yeah, it's a Beast Wars movie. Cool, we get to see the big gorilla and everything. And then all of a sudden, it was like the first Transformers movie. You had a kid who basically, down on his luck, ends up basically getting a hold of a car that he didn't know was special, and the car basically talks to him, and it's a Mirage. And, I guess Mirage was cool, a talking Bumblebee who is in the film too.
Mirage was not cool.
I mean, Bumblebee talks in this one, so whatever, I guess. The movie itself, though, was like, as I'm watching it, someone was actually sitting there watching it with me, and he's just like, I can't tell if you like this or not. I'm like, yeah, I know. I don't know if I like it either. And he's like, is it that bad? I said, it's not bad. It's just,
It's Is it not good either?
It's not good either. The whole movie was so subpar. You had basically it was a repeat of the first Transformers movie, where the kid is trying to help save them, and then all of a sudden, Mirage, just like Bumblebee, sacrifices himself. But then you had, which I thought was great, and I know Luke is gonna love my take on where this film should have went, because this is where I would have went with it. And actually, Luke is a big inspiration to this. See, in the movie itself, the kid actually gets absorbed into the robot and becomes almost a cyborg, which I thought tickled me pink beyond belief, because I was like, how the fuck does that even make sense? Whatever. Okay, cool. I personally would have much rather preferred they brought Mark Wahlberg back. And Mark Wahlberg was this robot and became gigantic, like
Yeah.
Voltron status, and was fighting these things. I mean, left and right, boom! Just lays
didn't-
out, bro.
I didn't even know he was in those films, to be honest with you, Mark.
Mark Wahlberg was in a Transformers film.
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah. You know what somebody said, and I thought this was a great quote? They said that this is basically Star Wars, the prequel, the first prequel was that The Force Unleashed, or The Force Awakens, that's what it is. They said it was the same thing. It had the beats of the first one. You just take out Shia LaBeouf, take out everybody, like you said, you take out whatever, and he did like a side-by-side comparison.
Yeah,
and you just insert
comparison.
everything else, and then they
Same
kind
movie.
of... Why did they do that? Why did they do the old bait and switch with the Beast Wars? They knew what they were doing with like showing the gorilla, getting people hyped because of Beast Wars, and then after that, they're like, no, it's not that.
But Luke, what do you think about my idea of how I would have ended it with Mark Wahlberg?
maybe to get you guys to go sit down in the seats.
I think it would have ruled.
Yeah,
I think Mark Wahlberg in a robot suit would have ruled.
Me too.
should have had a crossover with him and John Cena. He was in one of them.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. And I actually liked Pete Davidson as Mirage more than I thought. Because
Pete Davidson wasn't bad as Mirage.
I thought he was going to be annoying. I was so prepared to be annoyed by him. But he was solid. And I have one big criticism, though, with the movie, and it's just the way they treated Optimus. Because, I don't know, they just made him too angsty. Because they wanted to, because clearly they wanted to give him an arc of, he's all angry and he's reserved. Oh, and by the way, that was a great scene where Pete Davidson robot, just laid out Optimus Prime's subtext. They're like, Optimus Prime feels this way, so he acts this way.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this is for all of the idiots who don't understand. This is in case people don't know what character subtext is. So if you don't know why Optimus is acting this way, it's because of this, but he's masking it this way. In case you are unable to understand a person acting in a way to hide other emotions. Just in case. But I don't know. Optimus Prime always had he had a sort of nobility to him. He had a much more togetherness. This Optimus, ultimately at the end, he's like, yes, I will defend Earth, and I've seen it now. But it's like, did we need an arc for Optimus? Did we need him to have an
Did we
arc?
need to know you guys have been to this planet again?
The two humans, those are our eyes on the show. So they're the ones that have the arc, they're the ones that learn to believe in themselves and whatever. I want to just talk about that last scene though, the stinger. Rob, do you remember the stinger scene?
Yes.
When I saw that, I burst out laughing. I scream laughed. When I saw
I almost fell out of my chair. There was a few times I was just
it was so fucking funny.
On the nose. Just so on the nose. Some of the
one
stuff
of the funniest fucking things I've ever seen. I'm like, oh god.
Some cringe-worthy stuff in this movie. I hate to say it,
There, a lot of it. Which is
cringe Jurassic Park, Fallen Kingdom.
Right.
You're just like me. Cringe.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that.
Look at our female co-host shaking her head. She hasn't had a word. Sorry, Steve. Donna, what input do you got here?
Yeah.
Not seen the movie yet, but
You don't need to.
since I've seen all the Transformers, I will watch it. But you guys are kind of ruining it for me.
Good, because it needs to be ruined. It's a terrible film.
It's not.
It's okay. It's okay. It's better than It's better than most of the trips.
Shia LaBeouf is not in it. Could it get any
Good.
worse?
This is another thing I also didn't like, that the bad guy, what was his name? Spar or Splade or Grunge or whatever.
Yeah.
Grunge.
It was just some thing they made up, and I'm like, you couldn't have brought in a Predacon?
Right? It's there. It's there.
I just
they
thought
should have
the
had.
film
They
was
should have had
awful.
Vin Diesel. Why wasn't there a Transformers?
You couldn't have just done Megatron and given him another name, like Dino Megatron or whatever.
Dinotron?
I just thought it was terrible to advertise this as like the main part of the movie, and then just like in Spider-Man 3, have Venom, but then you have Venom at the end of the last 15 minutes of the movie.
They're barely in it.
Yeah.
It sucks.
I didn't like that one bit. Yeah, that was obviously false.
Because I was actually excited for it.
AirRazor was in it a lot. I'm glad, Michelle, you out.
The movie was fucking amazing.
She was cool.
It wasn't
But
amazing.
yeah. I mean, again, it's an improvement over most Transformers movies, but I was still pretty whatever.
Luke, are you
Low bar in the
upset
tailbook.
that we didn't get a Fast and Furious Transformers crossover? Is that what you wanted as a stinger? Vin Diesel showing up
that would
in
have
a
been interesting.
muscle car
there's
trying to race Optimus Prime.
There's the next freaking Fast and the Furious movie right there.
I
you know
want
what?
that so bad.
Oh
I
my
joked.
God.
Transformers and the Fast and the Furious so bad.
Could you imagine
Could
The
you
Rock
imagine?
having an arm wrestling contest with one of the
Optimus
Transformers, and it would actually be legit? Like The Rock just.
Exactly.
I think I'm stupid. It'd be an awesome scene. Steve's dying because he knows
I'm just laughing because I know that this is
Rock, do
swirling
it.
in some writer's head in Hollywood.
Freaking Moana. The character he plays on Moana do it.
me.
You never know. But it was just disappointing. What's your rating for this, Rob and Luke? What do you guys think?
For Transformers, man, oh god,
Rise of the
I give it a 5 just because I respect the CGI and all those who worked
I would
on
say
it.
I'd give it a 6. It looked good.
I wouldn't even give it that
Oh man.
because I can't even because I don't give Force Awakens a high score because it's just a ripoff of Star Wars Episode 1. Man, this was a ripoff of technically Episode 1 of Transformers.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. How about you, Luke? What's your score for Transformers: Rise of the Beasts?
It's okay. I don't know.
He doesn't have a score. He's like,
He does.
See, that's how I felt. I didn't really have a score. I was like, yeah.
You're just thumbs in the middle.
Okay.
Nothing. It
Yeah,
was just,
it's I don't know. I saw it with my girlfriend. She brought her 2 nephews and her older brother. So
They loved it, I bet.
if you gotta watch it with kids, it's not the worst thing. So
okay. All right.
So Luke is on the fence essentially. He won't give it a rating, everybody. So he's being nice. He's being nice because he paid to see it, and it's okay. We'll forgive him for that.
I just really it's been a minute since I saw something that just did not affect me in any way, positive or negatively.
Just walking out the theater.
That's
Luke.
how I felt about the movie too.
It's just
I told Steve
it's
the
such a-
same way.
It's just such a non-entity. It's just I just looked at colors and sounds for 2 hours and I left.
That is exactly how I felt, and that is exactly the review I would have gave for it. That's exactly it was exactly that. It was like veg out for 2 hours on colors and sounds and giant robots.
Yeah,
That's very true. That's very true. That's
So
just
possibly acid before the show.
Maybe I do that every day though, just to breathe.
yeah.
All right, everybody. So this has been, of course, your incredible, incredible host, Rob, with his crews, including his number one favorite crew member, 2 crew members, I should say, Steve and Luke,
Bruce.
Yo.
and of course his beautiful kin is the lovely Donna. This save the animals from not getting,
Godzilla.
Speaking of saving the animals.
but not Godzilla.
I know,
Yes.
right? Not him.
But thank you everyone for listening to the show, and make sure you listen, like, and subscribe, and find us wherever podcasts are broadcast. Make sure you check us out on the Planet X Network. Make sure you check out Jagged Tooth Clothing to help support the show, and make sure you click the links to check out all the merch. And we will catch you on the flip side, everybody.